Well, we've been joined by the Gills co-chairman and CEO, Paul Fisher. Paul, I know it's been a very, very busy week, so firstly, thanks for taking time out to do this. We've been asking for questions from supporters to put to you directly. We've probably had over 100, so we've had to whittle it down somewhat, haven't we? But the first one is from Martin via Instagram, who asks, what was your take on the Mansfield performance on Saturday?
Well, it wasn't the best by any stretch of the imagination. I think in all the time I've been a fan, I think that was one of the poorest performances I've seen from the team. And I think the team accept that they underperformed on Saturday significantly. I remember speaking to Neil and the coaching team afterwards, and everybody was really, really down about Saturday. I certainly know it spoilt my weekend because coming off the back of the Swindon match, when I thought the 10 men performed heroically for the club. That's kind of what being a Gillingham player and a Gillingham supporter is all about, and Gillingham Football Club's all about. And then obviously the Grimsby performance in midweek. I kind of went into Saturday's game sort of full of optimism, albeit that we knew that Mansfield were a big side and we knew it was going to be a tough game. But I think fair to say we all expected a bit more than we saw from the team on Saturday. So yeah, it was to sum it up, very disappointed.
And thanks for the question. This is from David Jenkin, who says there's a lot of uncertainty and worry around where the club is at on and off the pitch. How do you envisage the club moving forward and progressing under your leadership?
Well, look, all we can do at the moment is work hard. I'm certainly not happy seeing Gillingham Football Club, third from bottom in League Two. I think we've got a better team than that position probably belies. I think we've got a talented squad, and I certainly know with Neil's leadership and all the coaching team's leadership, they're working extremely hard off the pitch to on the training ground to sort of turn that around. Certainly as a football club, there's lots to do. I don't want to kid anybody to think that I can wave a magic wand over this football club. Hopefully you've started to see a few differences that I've been able to make with the off the field team as such. Really, I think I've had lots of feedback to see that people have seen that the matchday experience is starting to improve. Hey, it's miles off where I really want it to be, but we have got other priorities at the moment with quite limited resources. So number one for me has been to try to build a commercial team off the field, and we've recruited 2 or 3 excellent new members of staff, and we've got some events now planned going forward. I hear what fans say, why are we concentrating on that sort of stuff? Look, my job here is to sort of generate revenue for the club so that we can reinvest that back in the team, and that's really number one priority for me, is to generate more money for this football club, either through the gates or through the commercial side of the business, so that I can reinvest that into the playing side for Neil to strengthen the squad going forward. And so it's kind of chicken and egg, and that's really where we're at the moment.
David, thanks very much for your question. This one I guess is slightly similar, from Chris Ray. What actions have been approved to alleviate the current predicament on the pitch? If nothing, why not? I do not accept that we can be happy with what we have, given our league position, statistics and levels of performance.
Good question, very good question. I've not been happy, certainly wasn't happy on Saturday with the performance. But let me reassure fans that during the transfer window, all of us were extremely busy. Neil and the team and Nicky Shorey were extremely busy trying to identify new players, and I think we made a couple of good signings, which I think we've already seen, which has been great. Would we have liked a couple more to have come in to have strengthened us, possibly, with the forward options of the club? Definitely. But I think it's well publicised we missed out on a couple. But let me reassure the fans that we are continuing to look at other players that are available, potential free agents. We're now getting close to October, and there are players who are out of contract not attached to clubs who are available, and we are continuing to explore those options. And we continue to have sort of trialists here who are training with the squad, but rightly so. If they're not going to add anything, and they're not better than anybody we've got, then we don't really want to take on that liability really going forward.
Thank you very much for that question. You've actually just answered one. A few people have been asking about free agents, and obviously the answer is yes, we are looking, but they'll only be signed if they improve to the squad.
Yeah, it's a cliche in football. I remember when I was younger and I was a player. When I got let go from a club because when they were on trial and they said, you're not better than the player that they had, and that's really how you have to run a football club. You only add and take on more on the wage bill if you think that player has got potential to develop, or that player can significantly add to the strength of the playing squad. But yeah, we're looking. Continue to look through the list. Continue to talk to players. Continue to talk to agents. Are we in the market to sign any of those players? Of course we are. Of course we are, because we're continually looking to strengthen the squad.
And thank you for everyone that sent in that question. Next one is from Che Wilson, who's slightly different topic, Paul. Will the club shop be open as part of the planned reboot at the football club?
Good question. I was very surprised when I came back to the club not to see that see the mega store had gone and that everything was all sort of online. I get all the move in retail to online. I've worked in retail. I understand where it's going, but I do think I'm a bit disappointed that we haven't got a mega store still at the club. We're looking at options for it. We're continuing to review our whole kind of retail strategy and watch this space on that one.
Lovely. And again, thank you very much for the question, Che. Next question is from Liam Penfield, who asks to you directly, Paul. We know you are a fan of the football club, but as a businessman, are you enjoying the role? Has it been more challenging than you thought it would be? And how does our budget compare to other teams in this division?
Okay, right. Let's.
Sorry, that was 3 questions in one then.
Yeah,
Apologies.
3 questions in one. Good. Well, let me start. Am I a fan of the club? Yes. Do I continue to be a fan of the club? Always. It's kind of, cut me open. I've got probably GFC like a stick of rock going through me. I'll always be a fan of the club. I really want to turn the club around. We've got to do better than we're doing at the moment as a club and as a football team. All of you as the fans in the area, we all deserve better than this. And rest assured, we're not. I'm working bloody hard to make sure that is the case. Am I finding it more challenging? I think it's a challenge. It's a challenging job insofar as with the limited resources you've got as a football club and the expectations rightly of the fans to deliver. Do I think I can improve things? Yes, absolutely. And you will be seeing some of those improvements over the coming weeks. But we are a football club, and it all comes down to everything's a lot easier if the team's doing well on the pitch. So there's a certain responsibility on the players here to do better for us.
Thank you very much.
Did I answer all 3 questions there?
Let's go back, shall we? How does our budget compare to other teams in the division? That's the same gentleman. It's from Lee.
Yeah. No, I've looked into the budget issue. Because obviously that was something I wanted to have a look at, and our budget compares pretty favourably with other teams. There's teams in this division with smaller playing budgets than us, and there's teams with significantly higher playing budgets than Gillingham. But our budget is probably puts us in the middle quartile of League Two. It's a challenge. It is a challenge for us, and those clubs that have got benefactors who are putting money in and subsidising the business as such, and their businesses as such, does enable them to have a higher playing budget than us. Would I like to be able to give Neil more money? Yes, I would. Would I do that at the expense of jeopardising the future of the club? Absolutely not. I just can't. I can't do that. It's the long-term future of this club is everything to me.
The next one is from Justin, and he simply asked, have you been brought in to make the club sellable?
Very good question. Very good question. I think let's face it. Everything is a sale opportunity for someone. Paul and I continue to have a number of meetings almost weekly with people who are approaching us to buy the football club or get involved with the football club. It's a continuing ongoing process. I understand it has been for a number of years, and I guess it always will be if you're running a football club. But I, for one, we do lots of due diligence on people. There's lots of time wasters, and there's lots of people who are worth a second or third meeting with, and we continue to talk to a number of people who may be looking to invest in the football club, or if Paul decides to sell his interest in the football club. But that's very much that's Paul's decision. It's not my decision. All I can do is make sure the business is in the best possible shape for whatever strategy we choose to go down, whatever route we choose to go down in the future.
Lovely. Our next question is from Lee Clifton. Hi Lee. The club promoted a ticket deal for the Fleetwood game last season. I'm pretty sure you were here, Paul, for that. And that deal was a success with near 8,500 fans packed inside the ground. Are we looking to promote another ticket deal similar to that for any upcoming home fixtures this season? Yeah, the pricing strategy at the football club I think does need reviewing, and I'm pretty keen on doing these offers to fill Priestfield. Hopefully people can see that we've listened to some of the complaints you've made as season ticket holders that you couldn't bring children with you for free, so we've hopefully come up with a solution for that. Interestingly, for every solution we come up, or every new initiative we come up with, I then get an equally sort of full post bag of people who are not happy with it because they've already bought a season ticket for their under 14, for example. And I do hear what you say, but I do think we've got to think about the fans of tomorrow, and that's pretty important. So that seems to be going pretty well. I think sort of wider ticketing deals, I'm very conscious of the hard-earned money that season ticket holders have done, so I have to be very conscious not to cheese you boys and girls off too much if we were to do lots of cheap tickets. I am looking to do more promotional stuff with the community, with schools. You will see lots more school children here and more families here on a match day, so I think we're probably going to focus on that in the short term. But we probably will identify a couple of matches later in the season when we will do some significantly cheaper admission prices, and hopefully the team will be doing well then, and we will be able to start to pack the place out again. Fingers crossed. Lee, thank you very much for your question. This next one, Paul, you might have already answered in a previous question, but Kelly asks, what are your plans and goals to bring in more money to the club to improve the squad? You touched on the commercial activity, which there's two ways of getting more money into the football club. There's firstly the commercial revenues of the club. So as I've said earlier, we're focusing quite hard on that. There was very little commercial activity here when I first took over. We got some fabulous facilities, and they were just standing empty. So that's we are focusing on that to improve the turnover of the club. And ultimately profitability, which will again enable us to reinvest in the team. The second option is clearly to engage with potential investment in the club, and I answered that earlier really. And Paul and I continue to talk to a number of people who are interested in investing in the club. But I think one, the deal's got to be right for the football club. Secondly, those particular individuals have got to be the right long-term partners of this football club. There's plenty of examples of people who've invested in football clubs and turn out to be men of straw or ladies of straw as such, really, and doing the due diligence on potential investors and making sure they're the right fit for this football club, I think is absolutely crucial in these circumstances. But this isn't the usual sort of we continue to talk. We are. I've had a number of meetings late into the night with a number of people from around the world who are showing an interest in Gillingham Football Club. So yeah, it is an attractive investment opportunity for the right partner. Thank you. This next one's actually been sent in by a few people, so I've just tried to condense it really. Communication with supporters, you touched on this in a previous interview, Paul. That's one of your main priorities, isn't it? And I think they're just making sure that is still the case going forward.
Yeah, look, we can always communicate better. The purpose of even this interview online for people, we show that I am trying to listen to people. I've had a bit of criticism the last couple of weeks that I haven't been communicating enough. Hopefully we can do, I can do more of these. And I really mean this. If you're here on a match day, I do tend to walk the floor. I don't just sit in the office. I walk around. I was in the factory on Saturday. Don't be scared to come out and have a chat to me and tell me what you think. I'm a pretty approachable bloke. I'm probably going to invite more fans into the boardroom on a. We've been doing some offers with people. We've had some season ticket holders who've come into the boardroom on a match day. I've really enjoyed meeting them, and hopefully they've enjoyed their experience. And I've met with some of the the podcasters to hopefully do more on the social media side of things. So I'll do everything I can to communicate with you, but I won't be. I've got a different style to Paul. I won't be writing kind of long missives. Really, I'd like to do kind of more talking to people face to face. In using technology if I possibly can.
Lovely, thank you. This one's from James. With the World Cup coming up, will you put more, again this is ticketing related, Paul, will you put more ticket offers in place to tempt those from Premier League or Championship sides that won't have football to watch in this period? Yeah,
it's big opportunity I think the World Cup is for EFL clubs. I think the World Cup starts in probably less than 2 months now.
Yeah, I think you're right, yeah.
And we got to see this as an opportunity. I don't think many people will be going out to Qatar from this area, and many of those people will probably have season tickets at the West Hams, Chelseas and London clubs and Tottenhams and clubs like that. So I see it as a real opportunity for here at Gillingham during that couple of months when they're not staying at home watching England play, that we can get them hopefully to come down and see what the experience is like at Gillingham. And hopefully, as I said earlier, hopefully the team will have started to score a few more goals and start winning, and they can have a good experience with us, and hopefully we'll see them again later in the season.
Lovely. And then I've got a question here from Henry, who's asked, is there room for investment in the club during the January transfer window? I
guess what Henry's referring there is in terms of would we be looking to sign more players in January?
Yeah.
Look, as I said earlier, we're always looking to strengthen the squad. I think the January window could be quite important for us. So I want to try to get the club in the best possible shape over the next 2 or 3 months, so that we can go into that January window with some confidence, so that if we do need to strengthen the squad, that we've got the resources to enable us to do that.
Lovely. Thank you very much, Paul. That's pretty much it from me. But thank you very much to everyone who sent in questions. I'm sorry we couldn't ask them all because there was over 100 of them, so I tried to condense many down. But Paul, thanks very much for your time. I know you want to do another one in the not too distant future.
Yeah, absolutely. I want to try to do a few more of these. Look, just to sum up, I'm not happy where we are in the league, but everyone at Gillingham Football Club on the playing side, non-playing side, is absolutely working tooth and nail to turn this situation around and get us moving up the league. So rest assured we're very conscious of it. Thank you.